What if everything you've heard about Chrisean Jr. is only half the story? Because recently, the internet exploded with claims that his medical records were leaked, pointing to serious health concerns tied to drug use during pregnancy. Some say the details are too specific to be fake. Others swear it's just another smear campaign. But here's where things get messy, because the truth, it might be buried under layers of denial, drama, and damage control. And what we found? It could change how you see this whole situation. Who is Chrisean Jr. and her legal troubles? Before the internet was buzzing with leaked documents and speculation about Chrisean Jr., the spotlight was already fixed on his mother, Chrisean Jr., but not in the way most people dream of. For Chrisean, fame has always come with a heavy price tag, public meltdowns, court dates, and a trail of controversy that seems to follow her wherever she goes. To understand how we got to this point, with rumors swirling about her son's health, we first have to understand who Chrisean really is and why her name never seems to leave the headlights. Chrisean Malone, known professionally as Chrisean Jr., didn't enter the entertainment world quietly. Born and raised in Baltimore, Maryland, she grew up in a deeply challenging environment. Her early years were marred by poverty, instability, and what she's described as emotional neglect. With 11 siblings, Chrisean often had to fight, literally and figuratively, for attention, survival, and her own identity. And that fight never really stopped. Her breakout moment came when she joined Zeus Network's infamous reality show, Baddies, a series built around confrontation, chaos, and raw personalities. Chrisean fit right in. Audiences were captivated by her unfiltered energy and unpredictable behavior. She wasn't polished or poised like other reality stars. She was messy, emotional, real. That authenticity earned her fans, but it also drew scrutiny. Almost overnight, she became known as the wild card of reality TV. But behind the scenes, the drama was far more intense and far more damaging than anything the cameras could capture. One of the biggest catalysts for Chrisean's rise and downfall was her explosive relationship with rapper Blueface. What started as a romance quickly spiraled into a toxic roller coaster of public arguments, police reports, and domestic violence allegations. Their fights were often streamed live or posted on Instagram stories, turning their relationship into a non-stop spectacle. At one point, Chrisean famously knocked out one of her own teeth during a brawl, a moment she later referenced proudly, almost as a badge of loyalty to Blueface. But to many watching, it was a disturbing glimpse into the dysfunction playing out in real time. It wasn't long before legal trouble caught up with her. In May 2023, Chrisean Jr. was arrested in Oklahoma on an outstanding warrant. The charges? Marijuana possession with intent to distribute, possession of paraphernalia, and obstruction. According to court documents, officers claimed they found a large quantity of marijuana in her vehicle, packaged in a way that suggested she wasn't just using for personal recreation. Though the exact weight and circumstances remain somewhat unclear, the charges were serious enough to raise the possibility of jail time if convicted. The arrest came at a crucial point in her life. She was pregnant at the time and already facing mounting criticism over her behavior during the pregnancy. Videos circulated online showing her partying, getting into altercations, and allegedly using substances while carrying her child. These images only intensified the public debate. Was Chrisean unfit to be a mother, or was she just a woman spiraling under the weight of fame and personal trauma? After her arrest, things didn't get better. They got more chaotic. In one widely shared moment, she showed up to court without legal counsel, appearing confused and frustrated about the status of her case. She was eventually released on bond, but the Oklahoma charges hung over her like a dark cloud. Court-mandated probation and drug testing became part of her reality, even as she continued to film for Zeus and post content online. It wasn't just the drug charges that made headlines. In separate incidents, Chrisean was accused of trespassing, assault, and property damage. In one particularly volatile episode, she allegedly broke into Blueface's house, smashing windows and damaging property in a jealous rage. Police were called, but charges were either dropped or never formally filed. To some, this was proof of bias, proof that her fame insulated her from consequences. To others, it was just more evidence of a person in deep emotional distress. And yet, despite the chaos, or maybe because of it, Chrisean kept growing her platform. She amassed millions of followers across Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter. Fans defended her, arguing that she was misunderstood, targeted, or just trying to cope with unimaginable pressure. But critics pushed back harder than ever, especially after she gave birth to Chrisean Jr. in September 2023. From that moment on, the scrutiny didn't just focus on her. It shifted to her son. Every Instagram post, every live stream, every outburst became fuel for online debate. Was Chrisean really sober? Was she taking care of her baby? Why wasn't she attending more court hearings? And when rumors began swirling that Chrisean Jr. might be suffering from serious medical conditions, that's when the story took a darker, more invasive turn. But we're not there yet, because to understand how the rumors about her son started, we have to explore the viral claims that changed the entire conversation. Claims that a private medical report had been leaked, and that what it revealed would shock even Chrisean's most loyal fans. The internet has a way of turning whispers into wildfire. And when it comes to Chrisean Rock, even the faintest rumor can explode into a trending headline in a matter of hours. But this time, it wasn't about a fight, an arrest, or another chaotic live stream. It was about her baby, Chrisean Jr., and a set of claims so explosive, so deeply personal, that the internet nearly imploded. It started with a leak, or what was alleged to be a leak, around early 2024. A handful of posts began making the rounds on Reddit, Instagram, and Twitter, all pointing to one jaw-dropping allegation, that Chrisean Jr.'s medical records had been leaked online. Supposedly, someone with access to hospital files had revealed that the baby was diagnosed with a list of serious conditions, some of which were allegedly linked to prenatal exposure to drugs and alcohol. The documents themselves were never publicly verified. No scans, no official logos, no clear identifiers, but that didn't matter. The rumor had already taken off. The alleged diagnoses included everything from fetal alcohol syndrome, FAS, to neonatal abstinence syndrome, NAS, conditions that result from prenatal substance exposure and can cause lifelong developmental and neurological challenges. According to the posts, the baby was also said to suffer from a seizure disorder, muscle tone issues, and speech delays. One post even claimed he had been flagged for signs of Cre-du-Chat syndrome, a rare genetic condition associated with cognitive impairment and a distinctive high-pitched cry in infancy. None of this came from a medical professional, and none of it was backed by hard proof, but the details were so specific, so clinical in tone, that many believed it had to be real. The language mimicked actual medical assessments, using phrases like failure to thrive, delayed gross motor development, and hypertonia. To casual readers, it sounded convincing, and to those already skeptical of Chrisean's parenting, it confirmed their worst suspicions. Within hours, influencers picked up the story. TikTok creators began dissecting the claims, some even sharing side-by-side videos of Chrisean Jr. from Instagram live clips, zooming in on how he moved, how he held his head, whether he smiled or responded to sound. Entire threads were built around trying to diagnose a baby through a screen. And while some content creators warned viewers to be cautious, others leaned all the way in, treating the allegations like verified fact. And then came the accusations that Chrisean had knowingly used substances while pregnant, that she had skipped prenatal checkups, that she had refused to get her son evaluated after birth. People who once supported her turned fast. Even former fans were now posting captions like, "I wanted to believe she was trying, but this is heartbreaking." But where did the leak come from? That's where the story gets murky and disturbing. Some claimed it was an anonymous hospital worker in Los Angeles who had access to the baby's chart and decided to expose the truth for the sake of the child's well-being. Others pointed fingers at disgruntled former friends or employees, suggesting someone close to Chrisean had taken screenshots or recordings from her phone and sent them to gossip blogs. And then, of course, there were conspiracy theories. Some believed the leak was orchestrated by Blueface's camp, a calculated PR move to gain custody or distance him from the baby. Others were convinced that Ronnie Doe, a man claiming to be the real father of Chrisean Jr., had something to do with it, using the alleged report to strengthen his paternity argument. None of these theories were ever proven, but they added more fuel to the fire and made the situation even harder to untangle. What's worse, the internet treated these rumors not just as gossip, but as a green light to pick apart every detail of a child's development. Strangers who had never held a baby in their lives were suddenly experts in infant milestones, criticizing everything from the way Chrisean Jr. sat to how often he babbled on camera. Some even called for Child Protective Services to get involved. tagging CPS in posts and demanding intervention. But for every voice calling for justice, there was another calling out the invasion of privacy. Many argued that even if the rumors were true, leaking a child's medical records, real or not, was a grotesque violation of ethics. It wasn't journalism. It wasn't advocacy. It was exploitation. And it all vested on a shaky foundation, an unverified screenshot circulating through the same channels that spread celebrity death hoaxes and fake mugshots. Still, the damage was done. Chrisean Jr hadn't responded publicly yet, but pressure was building. The public was waiting for a reaction, an explanation, a denial, anything to address the growing noise. And soon enough, she'd give them exactly that. But the way she responded, it would only add more fuel to the controversy. Chrisean's response: denial and defense. When the storm of rumors hit, silence wasn't an option for Chrisean Jr. As the allegations about her son's health spread like wildfire across social media, she knew she had to step up and fight back. And she did it the only way she knows how: live, raw, and unfiltered. Within days of the leaked medical report rumors going viral, Chrisean took to Instagram Live, gathering thousands of viewers to hear her side of the story firsthand. From the moment she started speaking, it was clear she wasn't here to tiptoe around the accusations or offer vague responses. She was here to set the record straight and fiercely protect her son's reputation. "You hear these lies about my baby?" she said, voice sharp and eyes flashing with determination. "My son is healthy. He's walking, talking, smiling. Ain't nothing wrong with my baby. Y'all just want to spread shit and make me look crazy, but I ain't gonna stand for it." She painted a picture of a happy, thriving child, one who is hitting milestones, showing personality, and growing stronger every day. Clips from her live show, Chrisean holding her son, laughing with him, and telling her audience how proud she was of his progress. She emphasized that she was dedicated to giving him the best care possible, denying outright that any substance abuse or neglect had played a role in his health. "You think I'd let my baby suffer? Nah, he's my world," she insisted. "Don't believe everything you see on the internet. You don't know the full story, and you sure as hell don't know my baby like I do." Chrisean's defense didn't stop there. She called out the people spreading the rumors, accusing them of trying to tear her down at her most vulnerable moment. She warned followers to be cautious about what they believed, highlighting how damaging fake news and social media gossip could be, not just for her family, but for anyone who becomes the target of online harassment. "You want to talk about me? Fine. But when you drag my son into your mess, that's where I draw the line," she said. "Y'all ain't better than me, and y'all sure ain't better than my baby." But beyond the fire and fury, there were moments when her vulnerability peeked through. At times, she appeared overwhelmed, eyes welling up as she explained the stress of trying to raise a child while navigating public judgment and legal battles. She spoke about the difficulty of being a young mother in the spotlight and the pressure she felt to prove herself, not just as a star, but as a parent. "I'm not perfect, nobody is," she admitted quietly, "but I'm trying, every day." Her supporters rallied hard behind her. Comments flooded in from fans claiming they had seen the baby in person, insisting he looked healthy and happy. Some even shared their own stories of overcoming adversity, drawing parallels with Chrisean's journey, and reinforcing the message that no one has the right to judge a mother's love or her child's condition based on hearsay. Still, despite the passionate denials, the rumors refused to die. Eswe's public statement seemed to spark more questions. Was Chrisean masking the truth? Was she trying to protect her privacy or hide something more serious? Her Instagram defense also hinted at a larger war being waged behind the scenes against those she believed were trying to undermine her, weaponizing her family's struggles for clicks and drama. "It ain't just about me or my baby," she said. "It's about people trying to control the narrative, turn my life into a fucking circus." Her tone was defiant but real, a mixture of frustration, fierce love, and exhaustion. The message was clear. Chrisean Jr wasn't going to let the rumors define her or her son. She was fighting for her family's truth, no matter how messy or complicated it was. But even as she defended her son's health publicly, some in the online community remained skeptical. They pointed to inconsistencies in her stories, questioned the timing of certain videos, and urged caution before dismissing the rumors entirely. The debate became a war zone between supporters, detractors, and those caught somewhere in between. What remained undeniable was the sheer intensity of the spotlight, an unforgiving glare that refused to let Chrisean and her son out of view, no matter how loudly she protested or how hard she fought back. And while she was busy defending her family, there was one confirmed medical fact that couldn't be denied: the surgery her son underwent in October. A moment that would soon add another layer of complexity to this already tangled story. Amid the swirling rumors and heated online debates, one fact about Chrisean Jr.'s health couldn't be denied. In October 2023, the baby underwent a hernia surgery. Unlike the unverifiable medical leaks and speculation, this event was documented and confirmed through multiple sources, giving the public a rare glimpse into the real medical challenges faced by Chrisean Rock and her son. For those unfamiliar, a hernia occurs when an internal part of the body pushes through a weakness in the muscle or surrounding tissue wall. In infants, hernias, especially inguinal hernias, are fairly common, often requiring surgery to prevent complications like pain, obstruction, or restricted blood flow. While hernia repairs in babies are typically routine, the event itself is stressful for any parent, especially one already under the weight of public scrutiny. According to court filings and hospital records obtained by trusted outlets, Chrisean Jr. was admitted to a Los Angeles hospital in mid-October for the procedure. The documents specify the surgery was scheduled promptly after doctors detected the hernia during a routine pediatric checkup. Medical notes describe the condition as unilateral inguinal hernia with mild complications, meaning the hernia was on one side and had started causing discomfort. Though no life-threatening emergencies were recorded, sources close to the family confirmed that Chrisean was present for the surgery and stayed by her son's side throughout the process. Despite the chaos of her personal life, she reportedly prioritized her child's care, attending medical appointments and following doctors' instructions during recovery. Photos shared by Chrisean after the surgery showed Jr. with a small bandage over his lower abdomen, looking sleepy but otherwise calm. In these posts, Chrisean expressed relief and gratitude, thanking her supporters for their prayers and encouraging fans to focus on positive energy. But even this confirmed medical episode was not immune to controversy. Some online voices twisted the hernia surgery into proof that Chrisean Jr. was a fragile or sickly baby, using the event to bolster the leaked medical rumors. Others argued that the surgery was routine and should not be a cause for alarm, pointing out that hernias are common in infants and that many children recover fully without lasting effects. The public back and forth over the hernia highlighted a harsh reality. Every detail of Chrisean Jr.'s health was now being dissected, debated, and weaponized, whether or not it deserved to be. In addition to the hernia surgery, a few medical insiders who spoke anonymously to gossip outlets hinted that Jr. had other minor health concerns, such as mild reflux or eczema, common issues in infants that typically don't attract much attention. However, none of these details were officially confirmed or denied by Chrisean or her medical team, leaving plenty of room for speculation. The hernia surgery became a pivotal moment in the story, not just as a medical fact, but as a symbol of the blurred line between public interest and personal privacy. It was proof that behind all the drama and accusations, there was a baby who needed care, love, and protection. But it also meant the family's struggles were now out in the open in a way that no social media post or reality show scene could capture. For Chrisean, the surgery was both a physical and emotional hurdle, a reminder of the challenges ahead and the urgency to shield her child from the relentless gaze of the internet. It was also a moment that fueled more questions. How much more did she have to endure? And could she protect her son from the rumors that threatened to overshadow every step of his life? Once the rumor mill around Chrisean Jr.'s health began churning, platforms like Reddit quickly became battlegrounds for heated debate and emotional outpouring. The sheer volume of posts, comments, and threads dedicated to analyzing the baby's development was staggering, often blurring the line between genuine concern and invasive speculation. Reddit in particular emerged as a central hub where users dissected every available clip and photo of Chrisean Jr. Trying to decode signs of potential developmental delays, some threads were calm and cautiously hopeful, asking if certain behaviors, like delayed crawling or limited eye contact, could be normal for a baby his age. Others were far more alarmist, claiming to see unmistakable evidence of serious issues and urging immediate action. A large portion of commenters focused on what they perceived as possible delays in gross motor skills, pointing out moments where Jr. appeared to struggle with holding his head steady or sitting unsupported. Some users referenced medical sources, sharing excerpts about conditions like neonatal abstinence syndrome or fetal alcohol spectrum disorders, trying to correlate symptoms they believed the baby exhibited with these diagnoses. Many commenters expressed deep concern, not just for Junior's well-being, but also for the environment in which he was being raised. Is the baby getting the right care? One user asked, if these developmental delays are real, someone needs to step in before it gets worse. Calls for Child Protective Services, CPS involvement appeared repeatedly, with some even tagging official CPS accounts on social media in an attempt to force an investigation. But the conversation wasn't one-sided. Other users pushed back, warning against armchair diagnoses and the dangers of online speculation. We don't have the full picture, argued one commenter. Babies develop at different rates. Just because a kid isn't crawling by 6 months doesn't mean something's wrong. Several users cautioned against turning a child's private health into a public spectacle. The Reddit community's split mirrored the larger social media landscape, one half demanding accountability and transparency, the other emphasizing privacy and compassion. Yet even those urging caution couldn't deny the intensity of public fascination with Junior's condition. What fueled the fire further were posts from influencers and critics who framed the situation as a stark example of parental responsibility and the consequences of a turbulent lifestyle. Many argued that if the rumors were true, the child deserved better, and that Chrisean's history of legal troubles and public drama made her an unfit guardian. On the flip side, fans of Chrisean accused these critics of cruelty and bullying, emphasizing that motherhood is never easy, especially under the harsh glare of social media. No one knows the whole story except her, one supporter wrote. Stop tearing her down and focus on sending love. Beyond Reddit, platforms like TikTok and Twitter buzzed with viral videos of Chrisean Jr., where viewers paused and replayed clips searching for clues. Hashtags like Protect Chrisean Jr. and Let Junior Grow trended briefly as fans rallied to defend the baby from negativity. Despite the polarized opinions, one thing was clear. The intense spotlight on Junior's health had transformed from rumor to real-world concern. Social media was no longer just gossiping. It was a collective, sometimes messy dialogue about child welfare, accountability, and the power and danger of viral speculation. And in this chaotic online ecosystem, the question lingered: how much was public concern motivated by genuine care, and how much by the insatiable hunger for drama? For Chrisean and her family, the answer would shape the next chapters of their very public life. Behind every headline, every viral rumor, and every heated debate about Chrisean Jr.'s health lies a tangled web of family drama, one that goes far beyond medical reports and social media speculation. At the center of this storm is the question that has shadowed the child's entire existence: who is the real father? While the public largely associates Chrisean Jr. with rapper Blueface, the narrative has never been straightforward. Enter Ronnie Doe, a figure who surfaced claiming to be Junior's biological father, adding a layer of complexity and conflict that some believe is inseparable from the rumors now engulfing the family. Ronnie Doe's paternity claims didn't just appear quietly, they erupted into the public sphere with intense emotion and legal posturing. In several interviews and social media posts, Ronnie insisted he had a biological connection to Junior, backing his claims with alleged texts, photos, and private conversations with Chrisean. He painted himself as a concerned father, frustrated by being sidelined and desperate for recognition and custody rights. This paternity dispute quickly morphed into a very public battle. Blueface's family, well known for their own brand of drama and loyalty, stepped into the fray, fully backing the rapper and casting doubt on Ronnie's assertions. The tension between the two camps has been palpable, with social media posts, cryptic messages, and heated online arguments spilling out for all to see. Some observers believe this family feud has played a direct role in the leaked medical rumors and the relentless scrutiny of Junior's health. They argue that these rumors serve as weapons in a larger war over custody and control, attempts to sway public opinion by undermining Chrisean's credibility and, by extension, the legitimacy of Junior's father. From Ronnie Doe's side, casting doubt on the baby's health and the stability of Chrisean's household could strengthen his legal position. Conversely, Blueface's camp has accused Ronnie of exploiting the situation for attention and to disrupt their family's image. The conflict has turned custody proceedings into a high-stakes public spectacle, where every leak and rumor fuels the fire. Amid the chaos, Chrisean has found herself caught between two powerful forces, each with vested interests in how the story unfolds. Her defense of Junior's health often carries an undercurrent of resistance, not just against the rumors, but against these external pressures and accusations. This ongoing paternity drama, intertwined with legal battles and social media warfare, complicates every aspect of the narrative. It's hard to separate what's true about Junior's health from what might be strategic moves in a fight for parental rights. As this tangled saga continues to unfold, one thing remains certain: the personal battles behind the scenes have far-reaching consequences, shaping how the public perceives the family and how the family fights to protect itself. After all the rumors, leaked reports, public defenses, and family battles, one thing is clear: no official medical records have been confirmed for public release. What we have instead is a swirling storm of speculation, fueled by social media, family drama, and the relentless hunger for answers. The truth about Chrisean Jr.'s health remains locked behind closed doors, known only to his mother, medical professionals, and those closest to the situation. Yet, despite this uncertainty, the story has taken on a life of its own, turning private struggles into public spectacle. Every rumor, every accusation, and every passionate defense adds another layer to a narrative that's part medical mystery, part family drama, and part online controversy. In a world where the lines between private and public blur daily, where intimate details become viral rumors, it's worth asking, what is the real truth behind this story? And more importantly, who truly stands to benefit from the secrets, the speculation, and the drama? As the cameras keep rolling and the internet keeps watching, the answers remain out of reach. But one thing is certain: behind every headline, there's a family trying to live their truth amidst a storm that shows no sign of slowing down.